Picture this: enemy missiles are launching, US fighter jets are low on fuel, and just when it seems like the strike mission might fall apart, a sleek pilotless aircraft slides out from the clouds. It doesn't shoot, it doesn't scream. It simply refuels the thirsty fighters midair and vanishes again. That ghost in the sky, it's the MQ-25 Stingray. Welcome to the future of naval aviation, where battles may be won not by firepower, but by fuel. The MQ-25 isn't just a flying gas pump. It's a milestone in military aviation, a robot with wings and brains. It's set to transform carrier operations from top to bottom, one refueling mission at a time, when 500 miles just isn't enough. Once upon a time, if a target sat within 500 nautical miles of a US aircraft carrier, it was toast. Carrier-based strike jets like the Super Hornet ruled that radius. But times, and missile ranges, have changed. China's development of long-range carrier killer missiles, like the DF-21D and DF-26, pushed the danger zone out to over 1,000 miles. Carriers were forced to operate farther from shore, and fighter jets had to stretch their fuel tanks to the limit. Enter the crisis. Super Hornets began spending nearly a third of their sorties not striking targets, but carrying fuel to each other as buddy tankers. Less punch, more pumping. Not exactly a winning strategy. From bomber dreams to tanker reality, the MQ-25 wasn't born to be a tanker. It started as a dream of stealthy carrier-based bombers in the early 2000s. DARPA and the Navy imagined robotic bombers striking deep behind enemy lines, but budgets seesawed, prototypes stalled, and by the time the X-47B did a carrier flyby, planners had changed their tune. By 2016, reality knocked. What's the one mission a drone can do that gives the biggest bang for the buck today? The answer, surprise, was refueling. The Navy rebranded the effort as CBARS, Carrier-Based Aerial Refueling System, and by 2018, Boeing won the $85 million contract. Its manta-ray-shaped MQ-25 was christened Stingray, and the rest is history, or rather, history in the making. First flights and fueling feats. The MQ-25's first baby steps, or wing flaps, took place in September 2019 when the prototype, call sign T1, lifted off from Mid-America Airport in Illinois. This wasn't just a test flight, it was the opening scene of a new chapter in naval aviation. By summer 2021, T1 was showing off its aerial prowess by successfully refueling a Super Hornet, an E-2D Hawkeye, and, wait for it, the Navy's prized F-35C, all within a 100-day sprint. Three very different aircraft, one pilotless tanker, and not a single mid-air mishap. It was the kind of performance that would make even seasoned human tanker crews raise an eyebrow and maybe sweat a little. If the military had a reality show called America's Next Top Tanker, the MQ-25 would have snatched the title, the trophy, and probably a book deal. It proved it could do more than just fly. It could deliver when it mattered. All this without a cockpit, a helmet, or even a coffee break. Somewhere, a jet fueler on the deck probably whispered, "I, for one, welcome our robotic overlords." Anatomy of a high-tech gas truck. Now, what makes this flying fuel depot tick? Imagine a robot Stingray with metallic skin. It measures about 51 feet in length and stretches its wings to a carrier-friendly 75 feet, wings that fold neatly like origami to fit inside ship elevators. Under the belly, it carries a Cobham aerial refueling store filled with up to 16,000 pounds of JP8 jet fuel. Its power plant is a Rolls-Royce AE 3007N engine, cruising comfortably on station for up to 7 hours. Think of it as the sky's version of a long-haul trucker, minus the country music and rest stops. Even cooler, its internal mission bay is modular. Swap out the fuel for sensors or electronic jammers, and this tanker turns into a spy or a signal scrambler without breaking a sweat, teaching robots to play nice. Carrier decks are famously chaotic, a ballet of steel, steam, and screaming jet engines. Now toss a pilotless drone into that mix and watch the stress levels soar. That's where UMCS, Unmanned Carrier Aviation Mission Control System, steps in. Two operators using joysticks and touchscreen consoles, MD-5C ashore, MD-5D at sea, remotely guide the MQ-25 through takeoff, landing, and taxiing. It's like playing Microsoft Flight Simulator, except instead of crashing into virtual barns, a mistake here could cause millions in damage, or worse. In 2024, the USS George H.W. Bush became the first carrier wired for UMCS. During tests, T1 taxied under its own power, folded its wings, mounted the catapult, and launched, all without a pilot on board. Just drama, precision, and code. The secret missions await. Although its job description starts with pass gas, The MQ-25's potential stretches way beyond. Its modular design means it could soon carry electronic warfare pods, radar jammers, or even miniature glide bombs. It could gather intelligence, monitor enemy radar, or sneak past defenses without risking a pilot. Want to loiter inside a heavily defended zone like Russia's S-400 Umbrella? Send the Stingray. Need a decoy to soak up enemy fire? Also the Stingray. Every new payload expands its mission list, from tanker to scout, from spy to sacrificial lamb. The price of innovation. Innovation isn't cheap, especially when it flies, refuels other jets, and sports a Rolls-Royce engine under the hood. For fiscal year 2025, the U.S. Navy is asking for nearly $900 million, $683 million, to buy 3 MQ-25 Stingrays and $215 million to keep research and development going. The total goal: 76 aircraft at a projected cost of $15 billion, which includes spares, control consoles, and, presumably, some shockingly expensive nuts and bolts. But the road hasn't been smooth. Pandemic-era supply chain chaos and software issues have pushed milestones back by 2 years. The MQ-25's initial deployment is now aimed at late 2026. Congress, ever budget-conscious, has tied funding to test milestones, and patience is wearing thin. If things slip again, money could be funneled to faster-moving drone projects. At this point, the Stingray's fuel might actually cost less than its firmware updates. But if it saves lives and extends strike range, it might still be the best investment in air power since the jet engine. Why the MQ-25 matters most. When it's time to fight, the MQ-25 becomes the Navy's ultimate force multiplier, with carriers parked safely 800 miles offshore and Stingrays flying 500 miles ahead. F-35s can now strike targets over 1,000 miles away without breaking stealth. That's a massive strategic shift, like sneaking through the enemy's front door with jet-fueled invisibility. Multiply that reach by a few tankers and a dozen fighters, and suddenly, A2/AD zones look more like speed bumps than barriers. Plus, no more wasting Super Hornets on gas runs. Every Hornet freed from tanker duty means more missiles in the air, and fewer pilots pretending to be skybound Uber drivers. Fighter availability jumps by 30% overnight. It's like hiring a robotic intern to do the boring job so your aces can focus on flying and fighting. More fuel, more firepower, fewer risks. What's not to love? And somewhere, a pilot is definitely happy they're no longer hauling fuel instead of making history. The future of the carrier airwing. Fast forward a few years. Picture a U.S. supercarrier not just as a floating airport, but a hive ship. Human pilots take the lead, but swarms of robotic scouts, tankers, and jammers orbit above like bees around a queen. The Stingray's deck-handling AI could coordinate dozens of collaborative combat aircraft. Underdeck charging ports could keep drone wingmen ready to swarm. Data flows at gigabits per second. The result? An air wing that's faster, stealthier, and less reliant on flesh and blood aviators. Yes, risks exist. Cyber attacks, flight deck collisions, cost overruns. But the reward is enormous. More range, less risk, and a force that adapts faster than the threat. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the future of naval warfare, go ahead and smash that like button. It tells us you want more content like this. Got thoughts on drones, AI, or flying gas stations? Drop a comment below. We read everyone, and if you're into cutting-edge military tech and next-gen battlefield strategy, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss an upload.